The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Acuma, its board of directors, its management staff, or its members. The podcast discussion presented is conversational in nature and for general information only.
Hello and welcome to Acuma's On Point podcast, a series focused on sharing the stories of people who are making a positive impact in the credit union mortgage industry. I'm your host, Peter Benjamin. Today's episode is being brought to you by Black Knight. Black Knight is a leading provider of integrated software, data, and analytics for the mortgage lending and servicing real estate industries, as well as capital markets and secondary markets. Joining me today from Black Knight, my co-host, Sean Dugan, Senior Director of Origination Technology Sales. Sean, how you doing, buddy?
Doing very well, Peter. Thanks so much for the opportunity. Good to speak to everybody today.
Absolutely. Hey, Sean, do me a favor. What's the latest and greatest happening over at Black Knight?
Well, we're coming fresh off another incredibly strong year across each of our business units. So Origination Technology, which is the Empower Loan origination system, our servicing technologies, which is MSP, of course, Optimal Blue, who's a strong Acuma sponsor as well. And then lastly, our data and analytics group as well. So again, even with the really severe headwinds that we all faced in 2022, not only a strong year across our enterprise, but specific to Empower, 52% of our clients last year came from the credit union vertical. So we're really pleased with that performance and looking forward to even stronger support of your credit union members.
I love it. And thank you so much for your support. I keep saying it, without the support of yours, Sean, and Black Knight and, Optimal Blue for that matter, we wouldn't be able to bring such great content to our members. So again, thank you for being here and thank you for your continued support of our little side of the industry. Hey, but before we go too much further and before we bring on our special guest, who probably doesn't need an introduction, but we're still going to introduce him. Let's bring on someone from the Acuma team, do a little Acuma housekeeping. Krista, how are you doing today? And can you give us the latest and greatest of all things Acuma?
Hey, Peter. I'm doing good. Thank you so much. Yes. So it's just one thing after another, one event after another.
In a good way. In a very good way. Let's be a little bit positive about this, please.
I am. That's what I mean. It is one thing after another. We are super excited. We just came off of our March workshop in Dallas.
That was awesome.
Awesome. Turning around next week, we have our first summit meeting, Credit Union Roundtable, that Acuma's ever held. So we're really excited to kick that off next week in the DC area. Yep. And follow up in May with another summit in the Colorado area.
Yep. And
then follow up in June with our final workshop of the year in Louisville, which I know you're looking forward to that location, Peter.
Yeah, we're going back to back every single month. Let's do something.
We are. So it's awesome. And everyone, just stay tuned to our LinkedIn company page and our website just to find any updates, registration opening, information, all of that good stuff. Our virtual programming is very strong this year.
Yep.
With our webinars and our newly rolled out Young Professionals Network. So we have had one of our Young Professional Network meetings back in the first quarter. And now we're going
February 22nd.
Yes, indeed. So we'll have another one coming up in April and just one per quarter. So we're really excited to roll that out. Cameron from our staff will be leading up that charge. So great networking meeting, online networking meeting for young professionals. And then just stay tuned for June when our registration for annual conference comes out. So I know a lot of people are excited about that. We're continuing the momentum from Las Vegas last year, heading back to National Harbor in Maryland this year, and really, really excited to have the annual coming up in early October.
Sure thing. Now, two things. Cameron's doing a fantastic job on the Young Professional Network. I couldn't be more proud of the things that she's done.
Indeed.
It's great seeing how our Acuma community is coming together and people are really interested in that network. And it was interesting because even before the first meeting, the positive feedback on that network was through the roof. And I think this was needed, and she's doing an awesome job. Now the second point is our annual conference being held in National Harbor, Maryland, just outside DC. All I'm going to say is I know we've been there before. This is not the first time we've gone to the Gaylord, but I promise you, this is the one that people are not going to want to miss. And we got some great things planned, some surprises.
We do. We do indeed. And
always have something up my sleeve, don't I, Krista?
Peter, you never cease to amaze me. That is for sure.
I'm not sure how to take that, but I'm going to take it as a positive.
It's a positive. It's a positive.
Good. All right. Well, Krista, thank you very much. Do not go far. You're coming back in just a short bit to
I will be here
in our second segment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Sean, you still there?
I am, Peter.
All right. Fantastic. Well, I think it's about time that we introduce our guests. Now, our guest today is Brent Green, mortgage sales manager with Lake Michigan Credit Union. Brent is also the host of the television show Financing the American Dream. Brent, how you doing?
I'm great, Peter. Thanks. How are you?
I'm awesome. Now, admittedly, Brent, I went in today's podcast thinking back to November 2020. I was in my office. Back then I worked for a credit union. I was in my office and I was on a Zoom call with you. And I was like, oh, how can I mimic that same exact Zoom call? Now, for those who don't know, that was my CMB oral exam where Brent was there just giving it to me. He didn't hold any blows. I'm joking. You actually were very graceful, and I appreciate that. Without you guiding me through, the oral exam a bit during when we were there, helping me ease a lot of my nerves, I wouldn't have got through it. So I wanted to, go hard at you for the CMB oral exam, but you were very graceful, so I'm not going to. So thank you for that. Now, Brent, I would easily consider you probably one of the, if not the, definitely one of the most highly regarded loan officers in the credit union industry, if not, the mortgage industry as a whole. And you are everywhere on social media. You're very involved, in the community that you serve, are the mortgage industry as a whole. And I mean, you're doing a lot of great things. And I mean that as an admirer of what you are doing and what you've done for our industry. But today we really want to focus on you and the journey you spent getting really to where you are today. So almost as though, if there was a new loan officer listening to this, and I hope that there is, and they really want to learn from the best. I mean, well, heck, I would consider you the best. And so I would urge them to listen to every single thing that you say, because what you do is almost sure to be gold. And so really, what does a new loan officer, going from, thinking about where you started to your journey to where you are today, how do you create that success? How can someone like a new loan officer create that success as to what you got? Let's walk through that journey if we can. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Thanks.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. I mean, I probably wouldn't rate myself quite that high, but I do appreciate the accolades. That's very nice of you.
So do me a favor, just so people don't know. I don't want to throw a timeline on this. Tell me about your first job in the loan as a loan officer. Tell me about your first role in sales within the mortgage industry. What was that like? What made you successful then, or was it a complete failure?
It's totally different than now. It was back, I can give you a timeline. It was back in 1993, almost 30 years from today, actually. I started off actually doing marketing for other loan officers. So initially I was helping them make flyers, rate sheets and such to drop off at real estate offices. This is why we were waiting for me to get some sort of training before they turned me loose on the public. It went great. I mean, initially, I think my first half year or thereabouts in origination on my own, I might have done like $6 million. The following year, I did $12 million. So it was about $1 million a month. And back then, that was kind of a standard that you had to hit. So it was totally different in how you went about the business. You were definitely out in the real estate offices in the community, shaking hands and trying to meet people and take them to lunch and dropping flyers in their mailbox. taking other LO flyers out, the standard practice where your competitor put them in there.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm kidding, of course, but yeah, that was a different era for sure.
Sure. So it wasn't, from that point to where you are today, something must have happened where things just started to click, right? What was that? What was that thing that clicked that got you to where you are today? Where, I mean, again, we're going to talk about this now. That loan officer back in, I think you said 1993, went from that loan officer to basically being the host of a television show, right? So what was that moment that you start seeing your career propel forward?
Boy, there were a lot of components to going from just starting out to where I'm at now. I happen to be fortunate that I worked at an institution that offered the more complex products, and that was fun to learn. Construction lending and bridge type financing. Those are unique with portfolio lending capabilities. All of that was unique, and so you were doing paper still, but it was more flexible and totally different than you would have been doing if you were just straight Fannie, Freddie, FHA type thing. What really I think clicked with that was just that education level made me an industry expert. It made me more productive with my real estate agents and my builders at the time. They relied upon me, and I could give them straight answers that and I actually could deliver on them.
Okay. So, taking that experience and comparing it to where you are today, still very much hungry, still very much have that drive. You're seeing some success. You're a sales manager, so you have a team reporting up to you, right? As you bring in a new loan officer onto your team or within underneath your umbrella, what's that word of advice that you're giving them to kind of help them be successful, or really what are you doing to mentor them to success?
So I do talk with several loan officers within the company. I don't maintain my own team, though. I'm a little unique in my role, but I do mentor younger loan officers, newer loan officers, future CMBs, that sort of thing. Essentially, education is one of the main things I stress. They absolutely need to know everything that they possibly can about what they're doing, and then some. What I see out there is difficulty for income calculation and understanding how to just walk through that with an underwriter, or understanding how they're going to view it and how how you can steer a transaction or steer the underwriting to the way that you want it to be. It's all very challenging, and if you have somebody who knows more than you underwriting the file, you end up in a position where you're kind of beholden to what they're telling you is the way it has to be done. The more you know, the further you can take everything. It's crucial to have that loan officer be well versed in guidelines and how to navigate with an underwriter and how to navigate with management.
Right, and a lot of people that we talk to who see the success that you see talk about education, right? And I couldn't agree more. But there is a balance, right? There's that balance of seeing both sides, right? It's the underwriter's job to mitigate risk, and there's always that fallback rule of underwriter discretion, right? But I like how you frame that up, right? Understanding the guidelines helps you better understand where the underwriter's coming from, right? And at the same time, it allows you to have a healthy level of debate. And I stress that, a healthy level of debate when it comes to your files. You can actually have an intelligent conversation with them about whether a condition or an ask is truly needed. And to them, you can find that alternative if need be, right?
Right.
And so that's it, but that takes time, right? That takes a long time to get to that point where you have that confidence. And I would even say this for processors, right? Processors or anyone else, it's dedicate that time to it, because it will eventually pay off when you have that moment where an underwriter says, you know what, you're right. Let me go and waive this condition because it's actually not needed per Fannie Freddie or whatever. right?
Exactly.
So I'm sorry.
No, you're right. You've got every loan officer should absolutely find a mentor within their company to bounce things off of. If they're working from home or if there's an office, being around people is crucial to your success or your ability to bounce things off other people. That collective brain is invaluable in this business. I have people constantly calling me or coming into my office with different scenarios and different thoughts and hey, does this sound right or any of that? If you don't have that or you're not doing it, you need to be.
Okay, that's a good one. Now you're very passionate about construction lending, right? I mean, how'd you get into that construction lending? That's not easy. That I'll jokingly say that's not for the faint of heart, right? Like the rookie loan officer should not jump into construction lending.
Well, they absolutely need to be educated on it for sure. There are a lot of pitfalls in construction lending, relationship wise with your builder, with the real estate agents maybe involved, the consumer, of course, all of that. If you go sideways on a construction loan where you don't catch things or you just don't understand how the complexities of it, you can drive people right out of their minds. They'll absolutely never use you again if you do a poor job with it, because it is complex in its documentation, in the reasons behind everything. You can drive a builder right out of their mind with conditions from an underwriter, unless you can truncate that and know what you're doing to help everybody get on the same page. It's difficult. Underwriters don't tend to do construction unless they really know it. So it's not like a regular file flow. Usually you're going to a specialty underwriting group, much like a government loan might be a specialty underwriting group, or certain portfolio type products might be a specialty group. Construction is typically set up that same way.
So it's interesting you say that, because it's like, most people relate the mortgage process to being, one of the most stressful times, especially buying your first home is one of the most stressful experiences that you go through, right? And oftentimes, that purchase transaction from the time that they start looking to the time that they go to closing, let's say I'm going to make it seem like a good process. We'll say 3 months, right? 3 months from the time you start looking, hopefully it takes that long, probably longer at this point in time. But on a construction, it's not a 3-month stress, right? So if you mess it up, and you're talking a year, 2. I mean, they're gonna be yelling at you for two straight years because you messed up some numbers, right? You didn't carry the 3.
Yeah, it's they go through a long process with the builder in advance. Setting up, picking out their plan or their blueprint, making adjustments with their architect, selections. They've been with the builder for quite some time, or been researching builders and that for quite some time before they even get to me. And then, it's a good process with us as well. There's a reason why the regulations give special timing for like a loan estimates and whatnot for construction, is because things can change. And these can take a little bit longer to process than a regular transaction. It's all the same mortgage wise. The underwriting of the borrower, that's none of that's different. It's the complexities of analyzing what they're building,
right,
that come into play. And it takes a little bit longer. Once you get to the closing, you get through all the conditions. If your builder is familiar with draw construction financing, usually it's not a big deal. If the builder's brand new to it, that's a long road, because they're looking at you like, why do you need all this? I don't understand. And different states have different rules, so it can be a big differential between builders and their knowledge of draw financing as well.
So it's interesting because I do want to come back to this, but hey, Sean, I see you kind of waving your hand. You have a question. What? Please feel free to chime in.
Yeah, no, I'm interested in Brent's perspective here. And, he's obviously a veteran. And so, I think his answer probably has evolved over the years, but what tools in your toolkit and what partnerships would you tell somebody entering the industry as an LO are most important to your success? We all know, not one person does this entire transaction themselves. They're supported throughout, right? But where would you pinpoint a loan officer to say, hey, you really need partnerships with XYZ, and these tools have allowed me to provide, a white glove service to my members? Just curious in your perspective there.
Good question.
For me, I'm a little older, so it's not that I'm not tech savvy. I do have technologies and whatnot, but like I say, I've been doing this 30 years. For me, it's most of my interactions are by phone and in email and whatnot, but the tools I have, my most valuable are my assistants. And there's a journey that a loan officer goes on when it comes to hiring an assistant, getting to that level where they can confidently and strategically hire an assistant. You can spend, just depending on the company, some companies will help with compensation. Other companies will leave it right in the LO's bailiwick to pay that assistant. But you've got to hit a certain production level to really bring an assistant on, and then you can use that assistant, leveraging that capability to explode your production, to really up your service game to your clientele, to your referral partners, as well as the members. There's just so much that can be accomplished with good assistance. That is, to me, the most crucial thing I've done in the last 10 years to really change my game.
Thanks, Brent.
So I do want to come, in the last few minutes that we have, I got to know more about this. Tell me about Financing the American Dream.
The TV.
Yes.
It's not just me. It is across the country, a number, even in my own market, a number of different top producing either real estate agents or lenders that are involved in this programming. The program in general is an Emmy nominated production. They're great people. They set up a videographer to come. You're setting a date of where you want to go, what you want to go cover. I just recently covered a restaurant near me in downtown Rochester, Michigan, and I had actually know the gentleman and arranged to go and visit his place with a videographer and do kind of a history of the community, as well as of his restaurant and his family. It was off the charts, very, very cool. I don't know how we're just finished up filming, so I haven't seen the edited product yet, but I'll be doing these every other month. And really it's to showcase the community. I'm not so much talking about mortgage loans, or I'm not so much selling properties, going in, like an agent may eventually show a property or something to that effect. But really the program is all about lifestyles, the community, the culture. And that's what I think keeps it entertaining and interesting to people. It may be that I'm in mortgage lending, but I'm really talking about a simple local community and featuring it, and it'll broadcast out of on local stations and then get uploaded to like Roku and Amazon Fire and Apple TV. So it'll be out there as well. But they've got a real professional group and a heck of a lot that you're creating a brand. For me, marketing wise, it helps to create my brand and expand my brand within a community. They want me to be like the digital mayor, right? That's the term that they use, is that you own the digital space in that marketplace, and you're creating a brand for you and your business. But you're not selling your business in that show, right? I'm not there doing anything with LMCU really. It's more about the community and the cool things that are available there and the lifestyles that people live there.
No, I love that because, again, we always often talk about how buying a home's the American dream, but it's a lot more than that, right? It's owning your own business in many ways. I guess fundamentally, fulfilling the American dream is just having a dream and seeing it through, right? Whatever dream that is. Right? If you want to be a carpet salesman. That's your dream. You can be a carpet salesman, right? If you want to own a restaurant, that's good too. And I love that. It's funny that you're saying this because it does tie back to the first part of the conversation was, lessons for younger loan officers in the journey that you took to get here, right? You have a very strong personal brand, and this show is kind of highlighting that personal brand. And if anything, making your personal brand a little bit more, or reminding your local community, the community that you serve, about your brand and how you are there to support them, right? And I think that is so valuable. And if I may, that's often lost when people go to create personal brands, right? It tends to be about growing their business, right? About you want to work with someone who is out there, right? That shows that they can be the expert, right? What about just in the community, right? Or a person within the community, right? And that's very powerful. I think that's awesome, man. Really, really do. You'll have to tell me when the first episode airs because I'm going to watch it.
I will. As the saying goes, I have a face for radio, right?
Brent, there's a reason why we're doing a podcast.
This is why we're doing a podcast. Exactly.
I was more so referring to me, but okay, yes. But yeah, so I mean, that's I'm blown away because that's awesome. Congratulations on that. That is so cool.
Thank you.
It really is. It really, really is. Well, last question I have. I asked this. Unless Sean, unless you have another question, I do have one final question. It's a question I have to ask everybody.
I'm good, Peter. Fire away.
All right, perfect. Now, Brent, again, same question I asked everybody. It's not a trick question. As I mentioned, this is really about getting to know people that are making a positive impact in our industry. And I mean, I fully believe that you do that every day. But this question is really tailored to what motivates you to make that positive impact in our industry. Well, what you put your foot out of bed, one foot at a time, just like everyone else. What keeps you getting up and tackling? What keeps you going? Keeps tackling, that allows you to keep tackling the day.
When I was younger and didn't have any money, it was about my family and providing a support. That financial component. Now that I'm older and somewhat more financeable, I'm in better shape than I was. The industry itself, the venture deeper into the kind of an Alice in Wonderland type of thing, right? Once you start going to the conferences and meeting all the people, and you see how big and this industry is and how complex, and all the service providers. Black Knight among them. It's, gosh, I don't know. When you get this in your blood, this mortgage game, I don't know how the heck I got here to begin with, right? It's like I've said before, it's quite by accident. I think everybody ends up by accident in the mortgage industry. My family still is a driving force for me, but the passion for the industry itself really materialized when I got my CMB, and 2008 when everything kind of crashed and came to a real problem, and I realized I didn't know near as much as I thought I knew. 15 years into how long was I in the business at that point? 2008, yeah, give or take. It's a major move to get that education, that level as a CMB. And I think that has driven me even further into the industry, just trying to make it right, trying to help, trying to find ways to assist with with Acuma and with the MBA. That education really did a number on me.
So pretty much a further journey down the rabbit hole.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, Brent, it's time that we pivot to our my second favorite part of our podcast. The little part that we'll typically do. Jeopardy. We'll do fun facts. Weird statistics. Sometimes we do bad dad jokes. Personally, that's my favorite. But today we're doing Jeopardy. Now, I know everyone can't see this. This is a podcast. I mean, I have to walk everyone through this, but on my screen is a little Jeopardy board. Now, of course, Brent, Krista, welcome back. Sean, everyone, they can all see it. Now, here we are, in April. Spring is right around the corner. So I thought, hey, this is what better time than to have Spring Jeopardy. So just a random Jeopardy about the season of spring. Now, these aren't intended to be difficult. I did not pick these questions. They were pre-formatted based off this Jeopardy wizard thing template that I found online. Now, just like a normal Jeopardy board, there's actually not just like a normal Jeopardy board. Today's Jeopardy has 6 columns. But those columns are spring, just spring riddles. Now, admittedly, I did look at that column a bit. So I was like, what are spring riddles? That one's a little hard. So if you want to avoid that one's a little more difficult than the other ones. So column 3 would be spring weather and animals, spring traditions, spring random things, and then spring jokes. Okay, so what we'll do is I'll ask each of you 3 questions. Now, just like Jeopardy, you get to pick which category and dollar amount up to 500. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Brent, you will be team 1 down at the bottom. That way you can see your score. Sean, you'll be team 2, so you can see your score. And Krista, the amazing Krista, you will be team 3. So I'll ask each of you 3 questions. And Brent, as our special guest, you get to go first. Which category and dollar amount would you like to go? And by the way, you don't get anything for winning except bragging rights. So if you're very competitive, that should be enough. If not, Krista and Cameron can send you an Acuma coffee. Okay, so
right.
Brent, go.
I'll call you. You go by Alex during this phase of the.
Oh, and that does remind me. Oh, you do not have to answer the question. What is, all that stuff. You don't have to do that. Just for the sake of time and make things a little bit easier. We're not going to be that serious about this. So please.
All right, I will do spring traditions for 500.
Spring traditions. Go big or go home. Go big or go home. Spring traditions for 500. A process that includes. Sorry, my screen is blocking. There you go. A process that includes thoroughly cleaning of a house or room, typically taken in spring.
So, spring cleaning?
The answer that you have selected is spring cleaning, and the correct answer is, what is spring cleaning? Good job. Good job. There you go. See, you can do this all day. All right. Congratulations, Brent. You are in the lead. All right. So, Sean, you are up.
Well, I think I have to follow Brent's lead and go big. So how about spring weather animals for 500?
Spring weather and animals for 500. Name 2 animals that are born from eggs.
What is a chicken?
Okay.
What is a duck?
We got chicken and duck. The correct answer is, I already gave you the answer. Let me go over there it is. Chicken, birds, fish, etc. Like, it literally did not. You could have said platypus, and that would have been right also. But,
Right.
I was thinking of that.
There you go. See, platypus. That would have been a great answer. Platypus. All right, very good. So congratulations, Sean. You get 500. All right, Krista.
Yes. Well, we're going to keep on the tradition. I'm going to do spring random for 500, please, Peter.
All right, got it. All right. True or false? How's this a Jeopardy question? But okay. What is true? Well, I guess the fall and spring equinoxes are the only 2 times during the year when the sun rises due east and sets due west. True or false?
That sounds like a lot harder than maybe it's supposed to be.
It's a 50-50 shot. It's a 50-50 shot. That's all.
It is.
All set up.
I'm going to go with false.
False. Let's see. Oh, the answer is true. Oh, so just like normal Jeopardy. So I'm sorry, Krista. You
It's
are
okay.
in the negative.
Oh, dang it.
All right. So, Brent, back to you.
All right, spring jokes for 500.
Spring jokes, 500. What do you call a flower that roars?
A dandelion.
A dandelion. The correct answer is a dandelion.
Wow.
Good job.
I almost said dragon snap, but
Good job. Good job. All right, Sean.
Okay, I will go spring on the far left for 500.
Spring 500. Using take a pause, talk about your favorite spring activity. I don't understand that question.
Am I the only one who's lost?
100%.
Yeah,
All right, so
it doesn't make any sense.
let's just see what the answer is. I love it.
Okay.
So pretty much you could have said anything to this question and you would have gotten the points. All right, so so give me another. How about this? Give me another question and I'll give you 500 points.
Want me to go spring traditions for 400?
I love it. Spring traditions 400.
All right, here we go.
It is a day when it pops out of the ground to end hibernation to find out if winter will end or not.
Had the same thing happen to me yesterday. No, just kidding. It's Groundhog Day.
That's a good movie, by the way. That is a fantastic movie, and I appreciate your reference to it. That's fantastic. All right, good. Well, so in reality, we're going to say that Sean's at 1,000. We're going to say that Sean's at 1,000. All right, Krista, let's get you back in
redeem myself.
Get it back in the game.
All right, let's do spring for 400.
I like how everyone's avoiding spring riddles after I said it was actually a hard category.
Yes.
Another true or false. Another true or false. March, April, and May are all spring months.
True.
Yeah. Good job.
You.
Hey, but you're still negative 100.
Yes,
All
yes,
right.
I see that.
All right, Brent, last question for you.
well, let's go into spring riddles for 500.
I love it. I love it. He's go big, go home. I want to win this. What has to be broken before you can eat it?
An egg.
I think this is gonna be a winner. An egg. I'm pretty sure you have this up on your screen right now, and you are. We're just really good at riddles. All right, so excellent. All right, Brent. Mathematically, there's no way anyone can beat you. So congratulations, Brent. You are the winner of Acuma Podcast April 2023. Or Acuma Podcast Jeopardy April 2023. So congratulations, Brent.
I get a coffee
Well
mug.
played.
Yeah, we will send you a coffee mug. Yes, absolutely. Now, Sean, just for giggles, do you want one last question?
How about spring random for 400?
Spring random, I like it.
Oh my gosh. Flowers, leaves, and groundhogs.
So the question was, name 3 things that come out in the spring. What's with this taking a pause thing? I don't
know.
So
What throws you off? I'm going with flowers, leaves, and groundhogs.
Flowers, leaves, we'll go groundhogs, etc. It literally says etc. All right. So the full question was taking a pause, which I don't understand what the purpose behind taking a pause is. Name 3 things that come out in the spring, and congratulations, you get it. All right. Excellent job. Chris, I'm going to save you that last question just in case it's another true or false. We're not going to ask you a question. Is that okay?
Thank you very much. That is completely fine.
My pleasure. I'm happy not to ask you a question.
I'm okay with minus 100 as my score.
You're a good loser, Krista. Thank you very much for bowing out gracefully. Well, Brent, thank you very much for your time today. This brings us to the end. I truly appreciate you sharing some of your thoughts and your wisdom with everyone listening. Really means a lot that 1, that you'd be here, but 2, you like I said, I would consider you one of the most highly regarded loan officers in our industry. So thank you very much for sharing some of your wisdom.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Of course. And to Sean and Black Knight, Sean, thank you very much again for being here, being our co-host for our podcast, and of course for sponsoring today's podcast. Without you and Black Knight support, we would not be able to bring such great content to our members. And to everyone else listening, thank you very much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and don't forget to tune into our next episode. We have a lot of great things coming your way. Other than that, everyone, take care and be well. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time at the Acuma On Point podcast. If not already, be sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. For more great episodes and information, be sure to visit us online at acuma.org. And to get the latest updates, head over to our LinkedIn page.